ओके, तो आप वो प्रोडक्ट जितना ज्यादा यूज करोगे, the more you start using the product, you will be getting the benefit out of that thing. So yesterday we saw this example of say for example, I'm showing this screen to you, right? We saw an example of Sensodyne, right? We saw the example like, say for example, the upper uh, image shows that limited offers, click here to claim the free gift. Now what happens if you are not in a requirement of the product, okay, you are not requiring the product, but still you are getting some benefit, you tend to buy that product, right? You feel like, okay, though I'm not interested, but some of the other benefit I'm getting it. We saw in the behavioral of the segmentation, right? So if you are getting the benefit out of that particular product, which no other product is giving you, the most important point is that which no other product is giving you, कि वो कोई और product आपको नहीं दे पा रहा है. It means that it is trying to create the position in terms of giving the benefits to the client, right? So this you can say that positioning by product characteristics or consumer benefits are considered as one of the important part. Like say for example, if I'm talking about smartphones, right? So we all know that the Samsung phones which were launched, they did not had a long life battery. Okay, the life of the battery was no longer. So twice a day you have to keep that phone for the charging purpose. But gradually when MI phone launched, the positioning which the MI phone did was of a long lasting battery. So high resolution cameras, aging the technology or long battery life. These can be the characteristics of the product to give the position. If I'm talking about, say for example, electric cars, so on what basis we can do the positioning? Maybe you can see that there is low operational cost. Okay, it's eco-friendly, or it has an environmental impact. Or if I am talking about, say for example, anti-aging cream. Okay, so if I am using an anti-aging cream, so it will say that the ingredients which are present in the cream are, helps to reduce the wrinkles, and it shows your skin youthful, and it is long-term benefits to the consumer. If I'm talking about watches, I can say that these are waterproof watches, or the lifeline of the watches are for a longer period of time, right? So what is happening here that with the help of some characteristics which I am getting it, उसके जो characteristics है उस characteristics की वजह से that product is being positioned in the market, right? The second positioning is the positioning by price quality. Yesterday I told you, price quality can be in both the ways. Like say for example, it can be for the lower prices also, or it can be for the higher prices also. Since I am talking about earphones, I may have a premium earphones which may cost me rupees 12,000, 15,000, 20,000. But there can be earphones such a way which I may get like near by the railway stations for 50, 80 rupees, or even by 100 rupees also. So what is happening? The company which is producing the the company which is producing the earphones, right? Those earphones can be rupees for 50 or 100 rupees also, right? So they are targeting the customers who want to purchase the headphones for the lower cost, but there are the customers who are looking for the premium segment. So आप कोई चीज बहुत सस्ते में बेच रहे हो, या आप कोई चीज बहुत ज्यादा महंगे बेच रहे हो, right? So what is happening on the basis of the pricing, they are selling the products. Like say for example, if you want to buy a lip balm, तो आपको 10 रुपए का भी लिप बाम मिलेगा, and you get the lip balm costing more than 500 rupees also. Same quantity, maybe 75 gram, or maybe the quantity of the lip balm. So the companies are playing completely on the basis of price. On the basis of pricing, they are getting the position in the market. Yesterday I discussed this example of purses, right? If I want to purchase the costliest purse, of course I would like to go for Zara, because if I'm talking about the product of Zara, the first thing comes in my mind is that I'm talking about the costlier product. ओके तो मैं बहुत ज्यादा महंगी चीज की बात कर रही हूँ. एंड इफ आई सी दैट आई वांट टू परचेस अ कार वेयर माय बजट इज 1 lakh rupees, so undoubtedly I'm talking about Tata Nano. Why? Because सस्ती कार नैनो ही बेचता है. So car and price, no, the combination of both the things, they have done it here. So it is done on the basis of the pricing system. तो कोई भी प्रोडक्ट अगर मार्केट में प्राइस के बेसिस पे किया जाता है, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ प्राइसिंग, इट इज टोल्ड दैट द पोजीशनिंग इज डन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द प्राइस. उसने उसका पोजीशन प्राइस के बेसिस पे बनाया है, राइट? Like one more example, you all know that no, we usually tend to select the juices which are made up of real fruits. So you know this real fruits, this real company who provides the authentic fruit juices, okay, but those are very costly. अगर आप रियल फ्रूट्स की बात करते हो तो उसका जो पैकेट होता है इट इज रियली वेरी कॉस्टली. बट विद द सेम concept, when the paper boat started launching the product, he started with 10 rupees. Now the thing was, if anyone wants to really drink a real fruit refreshing, they did not had the scope of any of the company. Okay, so they had to purchase the real product, the company of real product, and it was not available in small sachets and it was costly. But if now I want to enjoy any flavor, real juice products, I can easily go and purchase the paper boat products. Those are less costly with the real juices. Okay, if I'm talking about any, you know, Fanta, cold drink or Sprite or any of this product, तो ये सारे soft drinks हैं, ये juices नहीं है. Okay, these are you can say dehydrated waters. Okay, gases वाले cold drinks हैं. I'm talking about the real fruits. Okay, which we usually have is like pineapple, guava or mango, such kind of products. तो पेपर बोट ने क्या किया, उन्होंने उनका प्राइसिंग पे उन्होंने उनका अपना प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च किया, which was the real juice was the actual competitors of that particular product. Positioning by use and approach. अब positioning by use and approach का मीनिंग क्या होता है? Positioning of use and approach means they are conveying the customer in such a way that you feel that using this product will be most appropriate for you. ये प्रोडक्ट आपको यूज करना जरूरी है, राइट? The products which are shown on the screen. Sorry, the products which are shown on the screen. Like if I tell about Dettol, now this particular product Dettol, it says that it kills maximum number of infections and germs when it is being used. Now the bottle which you see of the Dettol on the screen, we all know that it is all-purpose bottle. Okay, you use it when if you are taking a bath, you can use that particular liquid. If you want to wash the clothes, you can use it. Or if you want to wash your floors also, okay, you can use the same bottle. So what it wants to say that how you are approaching the particular product. आप वो product approach कैसे करते हो? So if I really want to have a hygienic bath or keep my home hygienic, undoubtedly I would prefer a Dettol, right? Now, the same product. Like say for example, if I say that I'm looking for the hair fall, I'm having the problem of hair fall, and I'm looking some kind of the shampoo which will help me to prevent my hair in a better way. So we see lots of hair shampoos advertisement on the television. Now try to understand if you have seen the advertisement. See, when we are learning marketing, I would suggest each and everyone that have a habit of watching advertisements very with a keen observation. If you see the advertisements with keen observation, how about the strategies you will learn from that simple advertisements of merely 40 to 45 seconds. तो अगर आप हेयर शैम्पूज के एडवर्टीजमेंट्स टेलीविजन पे देखते हो, every shampoos has the unique treatment for the hair. Some are for longer hair, some are anti-dandruff, some are for growing new hairs, some are for split ends, some hairs are for getting the hair shinier. So what approach you have? Why the customers should approach your product? वो कस्टमर ने आपका प्रोडक्ट अप्रोच क्यों करना चाहिए? So that will be a uniqueness of the product. कि the usage of the product will help you. Let's say for example, if you're having cold and fever, अगर आपको cold है, ठीक है, you are having cold and cough, what do you prefer? Undoubtedly we prefer Vicks. Why we prefer Vicks and not any other? Do you know any other replacement of Vicks in India? Maybe no, because the company has approached the customer in such a way that it helps you to use in 6 ways, right? If you're having cold, if your nose is flowing, if you have a headache, if your chest is paining. So if these 6 things are happening to you, you can use it. You can use it for taking the steam as well, right? If you put a spoon of Vicks in a boiling water and you can take it a steam. So that product has approached us in such a way बिकॉज ऑफ हिज यूसेज कि उस पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट का यूसेज कैसे है, वो यूसेज पे डिपेंड करता है हमारा द वे वी आर अप्रोचिंग टुवर्ड्स द प्रोडक्ट, राइट? सो अगर कोई शूज कोई लॉन्च कर रहा है तो दे वुड से दैट दिस शूज इज अप्रोचेबल टू द ट्रेकर्स, it has a fantastic grip, so trekkers will be the audience to whom they want to sell this particular product. तो हर एक प्रोडक्ट का एक यूनिकनेस होता है और उस प्रोडक्ट को वैसे अप्रोच करना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है. यू नीड टू अप्रोच दैट प्रोडक्ट इन सच अ वे. तो पोजिशनिंग उन्होंने अप्रोच के बेसिस पे किया हुआ है. सो दीज आर द प्रोडक्ट्स व्हिच आर पोजिशन इन द मार्केट बाय द यूसेज, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द यूसेज. Next comes is positioning by the product users. Okay, positioning by the product users ki most of the products are endorsed by the celebrities, by the sportsperson, or by the famous models, or by the familiar faces. So what happens is in this way, many a times the products increases the sales ratio just by the endorsement phase. जैसे कि I will give you example. I hope you all know this particular Navratna oil. Okay, the sale of this particular Navratna oil was very less, काफी कम था. They came out with a strategy and they started endorsing this product on the television with the help of the famous actress Amitabh Bachchan. The moment this ad was launched on the television, I am talking about around 2000 era. Okay, and the moment this product was endorsed by Amitabh Bachchan, one of the famous celebrity of India, the sale of the Navratna oil boomed like anything. The sale was increased by even more than 110%. The reason was just one thing, that the product was endorsed by one of the famous celebrities. तो आपका कोई भी एक प्रोडक्ट है, वो प्रोडक्ट आप एंडोर्स कर रहे हो, पोजिशनिंग कर रहे हो with the help of a celebrity. you are endorsing the product, position create कर रहे हो आप उस particular product का with the help of celebrity. So if I am talking about L'Oreal Paris, the face you see in front of your eyes Aishwarya Rai. Why? Because they have positioned the market with the help of the basis of the help of the celebrity. तो कोई भी प्रोडक्ट है आपका जो एंडोर्स किया है, जो पोजिशनिंग किया है with the help of the celebrity, you know, we have so many examples. Like say for example, if I'm talking about Vimal, so we have these three faces. Like say for example, Shah Rukh Khan, Ajay Devgan, and there is one more celebrity, Akshay Kumar. So we know when we are talking about, if we are talking about this product, these three faces hit your mind, right? If I'm talking about detergent scenario, the it was no, Gadi detergent is the oldest uh, product, but after coming out with so many new products like Rain, Tide, Ariel, somewhere the demand and the positioning of this Gadi powder was completely washed from the brains of the consumers. वो उन्हें कोई याद ही नहीं था. But again, they changed the packing system, and they started endorsing this product again with the help of the celebrities. So we need to understand that celebrities play the tremendous role when it comes to launching the products, because if you see, not a single product is uh, been displayed anywhere in hoardings, social media, or TV or radios. Everywhere the products are being endorsed by the celebrities. तो कोई celebrities को लेकर अगर आप product positioning कर रहे हो, तो you say that the product is positioned by the product user. So if you feel like, I'll give an example, फिल्मी सितारों का साबुन. So if this trend work मोरली फॉर रूरल पीपल. एक चीज समझ लो कि ये अर्बन सेक्टर में this endorsement by celebrity does not work, but this works for most of the time for the rural population. Okay, so if they see that this particular celebrity is using this hair oil, so how good if we also use the same hair oil, and they go for it. Or they are crazy fan followers of cricketers and Bollywood actors or actresses, so they start following those products. So product की positioning कर रहे हो with the help of the product user. Now comes the positioning by the product class, कि आपका product का class कैसा है. Okay, now what does this class means? Okay, now again there was this soft drinks were there. Okay, जैसे कि Coca-Cola, Thumbs Up, Pepsi. These all are the products which were usually more on the brown or black color of the liquid. Okay, तो अगर आप कोई भी liquid देखते हो, soft drink, whichever you see it, these particular liquids are typically brown or black color. So when this 7-Up was launched, okay, for the first time, 7-Up was the first, this particular soft drink which was in white color, and it mentioned that 7-Up the uncola. Okay, किसी चीज का हमें उल्टा करना है तो हम उसके पीछे un या री लगाते हैं. So it's uncola. It means that this particular soft drink had a completely different version when it came to the flavored or dehydrated, liquid. तो उन्होंने क्या किया, ये प्रोडक्ट, see the thing is that who is going to use that particular product. So if I show you this particular graph, यहाँ पे चार चीजें हैं. First, upper side is higher price. Next is the lower price, youth and mature. Okay. Now I am talking about only chocolates. Okay. I'm completely talking about just chocolates. Youth यानी कि 16, 17, 18, 20, 22 साल के बच्चे. If I'm talking about matured, maybe about 27, 30, 35 के लोग जो chocolates कंज्यूम करते हैं. हाई प्राइस जिसकी चॉकलेट्स की प्राइस काफी ज्यादा है, लो प्राइस जिसकी प्राइसेस कम है चॉकलेट्स की. ओके, so now if I take the right side, right top, that is high price and mature, उन्होंने प्रोडक्ट पोजिशनिंग किया है ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द क्लास कि कौन से क्लास के लोग ये चॉकलेट कंज्यूम करेंगे. So I'm talking about Ferrero Rocher. We all know that this is the costliest chocolate. Okay. But this Ferrero Rocher is not consumed by small kids or it is not consumed on daily basis. This chocolate is also not consumed by the college student. I am talking about it in the regular scenario. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द रेयर सिनेरियो. कभी कभार की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ मैं डेली बेसिस की बात कर रही हूँ. तो ये परचेस कौन करता है? एक जो एक ऑफिस स्टाफ है, हु इज प्रोफेशनल, हु इज वर्किंग, हुज इनकम इज एट अ हायर लेवल और वो प्राइस ज्यादा है. तो फरेरो रोशर का मैट्रिक्स कहाँ पे आएगा? जहाँ पे हाई प्राइस है और वो मैच्योर्ड है. Let's take opposite ulta. If I'm talking about, a youth, okay. So if I'm talking about a youth, which chocolate they will prefer? They will prefer a Cadbury like Kit Kat, which is again a higher price because this particular chocolate of Kit Kat is not considered as the cheapest chocolate because whenever you want to purchase any Cadbury, Kit Kat is having the maximum price. You don't get a 5 rupees Kit Kat. तो वो यूथ यूज करेगा. दैट इज द क्लास ऑफ द यूसेज. They want to go for a low price, तो sneakers है where it is made up of peanuts. It is not even a complete chocolate to it, right? और वही कोई मैच्योर्ड ग्रुप है जिसको थोड़ी सस्ते में कोई कैडबरी कंज्यूम कर रही है, they will go for like dairy milk silk. They will go for this kind of product. So this is known as the पोजिशनिंग ऑफ प्रोडक्ट बाय क्लास की. वो कौन से क्लास के लोग वो पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट यूज करने वाले हैं, दैट इज बेस्ड ऑन इट. पोजिशनिंग बाय कल्चर सिंबल. ओके, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ कल्चर सिंबल? मतलब आई विल जस्ट शो यू वन पिक्चर एंड आई होप योर डाउट्स विल बी क्लियर. ये उन्होंने पोजिशनिंग क्लियर किया है. नाउ व्हेन आई एम शोइंग यू दिस पिक्चर्स, आई नीड नॉट इवन मेंशन दैट व्हिच प्रोडक्ट इट इज. फर्स्ट इज अमूल, second is McDonald's, third is Air India, fourth is Parle-G. Now these people have created the positioning by a symbol. एक सिंबल के हिसाब से उन्होंने उनका एक मार्केट में पोजीशन क्रिएट किया है. So if I show you 4 circles, so you understand that it is the positioning of a body car, right? So there are ranges of products who have positioned their product with the help of these symbols. एक सिंबल के बेसिस पे उन्होंने अपना मार्केट में एक पोजीशन क्रिएट किया है, राइट? सो दिस टाइप ऑफ पोजीशनिंग इज टू आइडेंटिफाई समथिंग, ओके, विद द हेल्प ऑफ अ ब्रांड व्हिच इज एसोसिएटेड विद द सिंबल्स. Right? So when you do in this way, it is told that it is done on the basis of the symbol. I hope I am able to reach you all out, right? And the last one is positioning by the competitors. Now positioning by competitors का meaning होता है that whenever I am doing a competition or when I'm into a market, with the help of the competitors I reach here. जैसे कि ये. Now you see, this is something very unethical to do, but still they are doing this with the help of the competitors. Now if you see that this Nihar Shanti hair oil and here it is Dabur Amla hair oil. Okay, these both are completely different companies. The owners are different, but they are trying to position their product of this Nihar Shanti Hai by showing it off its competitors that with just paying more 7 rupees, they are getting 100 ml extra oil. Okay, so they are positioning their product in the market, okay, by showing the other products as the competitors. तो ये आप एक position create करते हो. I don't know if you have seen this particular ad of Patanjali or not. So whenever they are showing this ad of Patanjali, what they do, the one who is promoting Patanjali, okay, he says that we don't give crores of payment to the actors and actresses and utilize that money to make more products with less chemicals and pure and natural. And the photos which is blurly showed in the advertisement is more over of Amitabh Bachchan or Madhuri Dixit. Or if you see any other advertisements, they show that our biscuit is better than this other biscuit, and the other biscuit which is shown in a very blur way is either of Parviji or Sunfeast. So what they are doing is they're trying to show the positioning of the product by or with the help of the competitors. Are you able to understand? So with the help of competitors, when they are showing this particular product, you say that the positioning is done by the competitor. Okay. I told you last time also that how Burger King did it. They told that we are the customers for her are not the clowns. Okay, the middle one you can see the second picture. The customer coming in our outlets are not jokers; they are kings. And so, with the help of the competitors, they are doing it. The positioning by competitors, right? Okay, then I guess we have done with the positioning part. So these are the positionings. We saw all of them: positioning by product, positioning by price, positioning by user approach, positioning by product users, positioning by product class, positioning by cultural symbol, or positioning by competitors. Okay. Uh, Before we start with the next topic, that is target audience, I would like to share one deep video, okay, showing and explaining the meaning of target in a very thorough way. And once we see this video, it will be easy for us to understand the meaning of targeting and of the consumers. So just give me a few minutes. The this video is little lengthy, but uh, I think that it is going to be a very useful video for us. So just give me a minute. I'll open the video. I would just request everyone to please listen the video carefully. Okay, I'm just sharing it. So this video will be helpful for our next session.
Is one of the most iconic brands in the Indian business history. And for our generation, it's even more special because it has been an integral part of our childhood. But from the business standpoint, the most fascinating thing about Maggi is that way back in 1983, both Maggi and instant noodles were completely alien to the Indian culture. And yet, Nestle single-handedly created a 937 crore market and has been a market leader in the domain for 38 years. And in spite of giant rivals like ITC, Marico, and Unilever, even today, Maggi has a whopping 60% market share in the instant noodles segment. The question is, how did Nestle create a market for a seemingly alien dish in India? How did it almost establish a monopoly in the instant noodles market? And what are the lessons that we need to learn from Nestle's genius marketing strategy? This episode is brought to you by Navi Health Insurance, but more on this at the end of the video. This is a story that dates back to 1950s Japan. During that time, the country was still recovering from the downfall of World War II. So noodles was one of the most affordable foods in the market. But because the demand was too high and it took a lot of time to be prepared, it resulted into long lines and long wait times. This is when a curious Japanese man named Momofuku Ando decided to make a type of noodles that could be prepared quickly and cheaply. And after hundreds of iterations, he was finally successful in making a revolutionary product that we all know today as the instant ramen noodles. Now, although his newly invented instant ramen did not debut until 1958, the instant ramen noodles became a game-changing business during the economic boom in Japan. And as the country started developing rapidly, the instant ramen became such a big hit that in spite of costing 6 times more than the conventional noodles, the Japanese still bought instant ramen in large quantities. And soon enough, the instant ramen product started traveling abroad to the US to again become a massive hit. And even today, the parent company of ramen, Nissin, accounts for 50% of the billion-dollar instant noodle market in Japan. And while all of this was happening, Nestle was carefully observing the market and realized that instant noodles is a gold-mine product in Japan. But very, very cleverly, Nestle chose not to pursue the Japanese market in spite of knowing that there was a billion-dollar worth of market share still left to be capitalized in Japan. The question is, when there was a clear market for a scalable product, that too in a booming economy, why did Nestle not enter the Japanese market? Now, there are two seemingly logical reasons for that. Number one, Japan was not so liberal. Hence, it would have been very difficult to operate as a foreign company in Japan. And secondly, why go on war against a monopoly when you can create your own monopoly, right? Well, that is why Nestle started exploring every other market except Japan to create a market for instant noodles. And one of the biggest markets obviously was India. And that is how, ladies and gentlemen, Nestle entered the Indian market in 1983. And like I said before, both the concept of instant noodles and the Maggi brand was completely alien to us. We were still a closed country with hardly any foreign companies in the market, and the Western influence over us was relatively very less. It's almost like asking our parents to eat lasagna every single day. Then the question is, how did Nestle turn Maggi into such an integral part of our lives? Well, that is because Nestle very clearly understood both its customer and the consumers. To tell you about it, if you look at instant noodles as a product, anyone and everyone could have noodles, right? It really doesn't matter whether it is a school kid or a 40-year-old man. And noodles by default is one of the most generic dishes in the market. So had it been some ordinary brand, they would have tried to capture the entire 740 million Indian customer base. And they would have tried to sell to every single Indian who could have had noodles. And on the outside, it does seem like an obvious choice, right? Well, Nestle was no ordinary brand, and they understood the fundamental marketing principle that if you try to sell to everyone, you will end up selling to no one. So Nestle's marketing team started finding the best niche profiles to see who could be their ideal target audience. And that is when they carefully picked two categories, and those were mothers and children. Now this begs the question, what was the thinking behind this? Now listen to this very, very carefully. For the adoption of any alien product, it has to meaningfully cater to the pain of the audience and the interest of the audience. Now, in case of Nestle, there were two primary stakeholders. There is the customer and there is the consumer. The consumer is the child who eats Maggi and the customer is the mother who buys Maggi. And during 1983, there were two categories of mothers, working mothers and homemakers. Both of them had one major pain, that is to give their child something tasty and healthy when they come back hungry from school. The problem with working parents was that they were not at home. And with homemakers, after running all morning, after sending the kids and husbands to school and work, they needed some time to rest before they could start working again for dinner. On top of that, the child had just eaten chapati bhaji in school, so giving that the same for them to make something that was less tedious, but at the same time was tasty enough for the child to eat. So the two pains over here are working mothers wanted something that the children could make themselves, and homemakers wanted something less tiring to make for their kids. And the interest was obviously a tasty dish for the child to eat. And this is where, ladies and gentlemen, Maggi became an opportunist and positioned itself as a perfect solution for mothers, as a super easy and a tasty meal alternative for their children. This is how the tagline 2 minutes with Maggi was born. And as we've seen in the commercial, it showcases an act of mother preparing Maggi for the kids only to see them happy and delighted by the taste. Apart from that, Nestle reached out to school kids, sponsored quizzes and events, and even gave them a free hamper of Maggi products. This was followed by a widespread sampling with over 4 million new contacts every year. And as time passed, Nestle even began advertising on TV channels during peak times when people like you and me were watching Power Rangers, Dragon Ball Z, and Ninja Hattori. This is how, by positioning itself accurately to cater to the pain and interest of both its consumers and customers, Maggi established itself as an integral part of our lives. Now the question is, if Maggi could establish a name in the market, so could others, right? Because there were already other big guns like ITC, Unilever, and Nissan. Then the question is, why couldn't they compete with Maggi? Well, there are three specific reasons for that. Number one, Nestle had evolved its supply chain for 25 long years, which was next to impossible to replicate. And on top of that, it controlled the supply chain end to end. But when Nissan, the parent company of Ramen, tried to enter the market, it struggled to find national distribution partners, and its alliances with both Hindustan Unilever and Marico to solve this problem completely failed. Secondly, Nestle had achieved an unmatched level of penetration even in Tier 3 and Tier 4 cities of India. And more people knew the term Maggi than they knew about the actual product, that is instant noodles. So no one really asked for instant noodles, they just asked for a packet of Maggi. This was because since 2005 onwards, the marketers of Nestle conducted exclusive studies and did everything in their capacity to make Maggi accessible to the bottom of the pyramid of India. And in technical terms, based on socio-economic status, the Indian audience could be categorized into 7 categories, ranging from A1 to A2. The top segment consisted of SEC classes, as in socio-economic classes of A1, A2, and B1. The middle segment was B2 and C, and the bottom segment was D, E1, and A2. For those who do not understand these terminologies, I'll attach a study material for you in the description. So coming back, the top and middle segment was already captured by 2005 through Maggi's conventional marketing efforts. And they saw that the real opportunity was in SEC classes C and D that represented over 40% of the market. And after an extensive study, the first product to be launched was Chotu Maggi, which was priced at just 5 rupees and was aimed at penetrating the lower segment of the market. The communication was carefully designed in local vernacular languages, and the distribution system was intricately designed with strategic wholesalers and trade distributors to reach up to 2.2 million outlets all across the country. And because of this extensive effort, the household penetration numbers of Maggi shot up from just 41% to 71% for the C class and from 31% to 62% for SEC classes D and E in just 4 years from 2006 to 2010. This is the reason why when ITC and Unilever entered the market, they found it very difficult to achieve this level of penetration and brand recall value. And lastly, it was the impeccable connect that Maggi had established with its customers. And this is something that does not need any explanation, but a classic demonstration of the same was seen in 2015 when this happened to Maggi. दिल्ली सरकार ने 15 दिन के लिए मैगी पर बैन लगाने का फैसला किया। शायद ही कोई घर ऐसा हो जहां मैगी न बने। भरोसा टूट रहा है तो गुस्सा सड़क पर दिखाई दे रहा है। जांच में मैगी के सैंपल में MSG यानी मोनोसोडियम ग्लूटामेट और लेड की मात्रा तय मानकों से ज्यादा निकली। जब मामला सेहत का आया तो लोग जायका गए। 2 मिनट में बनने वाली मैगी के खिलाफ देश भर में लोगों का गुस्सा उबलने लगा। आज के बाद हम लोग मैगी नहीं खाएंगे। As soon as this ban happened, Maggi disappeared from the stores for 5 long months, and their market share nosedived from 71% to 0% within no time. But you know what, guys? As soon as Maggi came back, they came out with something called "We Miss You Too" campaign, wherein the brand asked fans to share their stories about how much they missed Maggi on social media. Now you see, this is not some Michael Jordan's Nike product or a revolutionary iPhone that we're talking about. It is just an instant noodle brand expecting fans to share their memories. But as we all saw, it turned out to be one of the most successful campaigns Nestle had ever executed. And fans from all across the country started putting their love for Maggi. In fact, Snapdeal sold out a whopping 60,000 Maggi welcome kits within